Hey everyone, let me begin by saying welcome. I am glad that you're taking the junior level religion class, which it looks like it's going to be world religions this year, which I'm pretty excited about. I know you guys all had a choice, and thanks for getting back to me on those emails I sent. But it seems like a lot of students here are wanting to take world religions, and I think that it's a very relevant class. I think especially now, I think it's very it's pertinent. It's going to be challenging. I hope it's going to open your eyes and open my eyes too to a lot of realities. It's unfortunate to me that people today are as religiously illiterate as we are. I'm surprised. I was in college when 9/11 happened, and it seems today that we are just as ignorant about Islam as we were before 9/11. And it seems to me that we have a lot of opportunities, maybe just as a country and as a school and as a people, to learn about different cultures and learn about other religions. So I'm pretty stoked about this. Now, I want to go through just some basic information. If you've taken one of my classes as a sophomore, this is all going to sound super familiar, but bear with me. I am going to have a short little assignment at the very end of this to make sure that we're all on the same page about expectations and about grading. So bear with me. I'll try to do this pretty quick. The video I made for the sophomore class was 15 minutes. But they're new to all this, and you guys are pretty familiar with a lot of this stuff. So I'm going to try to go through this part pretty quickly. Religion is so much at the center of almost everything that we do. Whenever I watch PBS NewsHour, it seems like there is a story that has something to do with religion almost every night. Or if I look at the news, or if I go to the New York Times, or any sort of even the Star Telegram here in Fort Worth, religion really impacts so much of human history. And so read over this course description. It is one of the most far-reaching and I think most significant realities of human experience that has really developed ever since the evolution of the modern human. Please get this book. It is something that may look familiar to some of you. You guys may have used tiny excerpts of this when you were in 7th or 8th grade. But this is going to be the book that we're going to be using as the launching point for the majority of our work this summer. Yes, this is the 7th edition. They have the 10th edition now, but the 10th edition is like $120, $130. Get the 7th edition, get it used. You may want to do expedited shipping, but on Amazon, on that link I sent you, it's like $5 or $10. So get that ordered as quickly as you can, because I want to start reading as much of the major sections of this that we can. My objective, if you've taken me before, my classes before, you understand what I'm going to say here. My objective is to allow you, and then even myself included, to develop what I'm going to call academic virtues, what a lot of educators call skills, that are essential for your success in the academy and in the workplace. I'm going to do that and you're going to do that by learning and engaging about the history and the relevance of 5 major world religions: Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. So we have a lot to do. Don't underestimate the amount of work that we're going to be doing, but I hope that it's really going to be engaging. So my main goal is to help develop these virtues. You'll hear about them later. If you've taken my classes before, you know what I'm going to say. And I'm going to use a discussion and an engaging world religion dialogue to do so. Course policies, please take a look at these. Read over the syllabus before you do this assignment. Honor code, of course, is going to be strictly followed. I do run papers through a plagiarism website. I want to make sure that you guys are doing your own work and you're not just doing it to do an assignment. As much as you can, guys, stay as organized as possible with your time, with your work, so that you are able to hit these due dates. I know you're out of town some. I am too. So as best as you can, work ahead and let me know if we need to discuss something on that. I have a note here on technology. This is the same syllabus, or almost the same syllabus, that I used throughout the semester. In an online course, we're going to be using our computers a lot for almost everything. And it is so easy to have 27 tabs opened up at the very top, to have our phone with Snapchat sitting right beside us, to be watching something on TV. I know the World Cup is happening this summer, so there's going to be a lot of soccer to watch. There's going to be a lot of things to do. Go by the pool, go do something with your friends, do this really quickly. But the vast majority of the research is showing, the vast majority of experience is really showing that the more we are distracted, the less we engage. And there's a problem with that. So we need to really be able to self-regulate, especially when we do online classes like this. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Learn with a growth mindset. Students who believe that intelligence is not fixed routinely achieve stronger goals than their peers who have a fixed mindset. Now, this is a book that came out a few years ago, and a lot of the research is showing that if I just think that I can do better, I will do better. But if I think that I will just remain status quo, what I already am, and I don't challenge myself, I'm going to stay there. Log on to the Wire all the time. Check your email as much as you can. I have it on my phone. And then, of course, I have it on my computer. Read, 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 read. This is going to be a class where it's important to read. It's important to really engage intellectually. And I'm saying this for two reasons. One, whenever people go into a history class, people think, oh, I like history, or oh, I don't like history at all. Whenever people go into a religion class, there are so many preconceptions that it is almost impossible to get beyond those preconceptions, to deconstruct some of those, and then to actually engage this topic academically and honestly with integrity. So read. Second thing is, in order to really engage and try to understand religions that are foreign to you and foreign to me, we have to do so with depth, and that begins by reading. Okay, we're not going to understand some of the difficulties, or what I would consider just foreign, some of the themes of Hinduism, if we don't take the time to read thoroughly and to read well. So again, I'm going to say this a few more times, get rid of distractions when you're reading. Whether it's you find a place in your house, or whether it's you go to Starbucks, or whether it's you put your phone away and you turn off Snapchat for a while. So read well. If using Google Docs, please submit and share everything. Man, I can't tell you how many times I have to ask people to be able to see those assignments. So share. Use professional language. Although this is an online class, it's going to be tempting to be able to use language that you would use in a text message or in a Snapchat. But really, this is an academic course. This is preparing you for the online courses that you're going to be taking as a college student. And so use those good, healthy practices. And then finally, manage your time. Manage it. Keep track of your due dates. Schedule like 30 minutes, an hour a day. I'll touch on that after a while. So what are these 4 academic virtues? This is where I want you to really pay attention, because this is that short little assignment I want you to do over this. So I want you to, you'll read about that in a little bit. Critical thinking. Students are expected to grapple with tensions with available information or evidence, and critically analyze context while discerning internal and external influences on issues, problems being considered. Man, when it comes to religion, there are so many things that are connected to that religion, whether it be history, whether it be economics, whether it be a hierarchical structure, whether it be I probably already mentioned politics, but there are so many interconnected realities when it comes to the study of religion. So we have to be able to think critically. Identification. If you've taken me again, you'll understand that identification is just understanding the basic language, getting the fundamental themes. This, of course, is going to happen by reading, by engaging things in a deeper way. But you can't swim. Right? You can't you can't swim in the deep end unless you actually know how to swim. And so the identification piece is you need to be able to name and to understand the basic and foundational, the fundamental reality of these religions. Now, let me say one thing here. In any study, in any academic discipline, I think the biggest challenge is learning the language. There are going to be some new words that you're going to really have to challenge yourself to not only just learn, but also understand. And that's going to take place in identification. Communication. When I read from university professors, when I read of business leaders, one of the biggest things, one of the biggest skills that people say our students need to have is the ability to communicate. You guys are going to do this in 3 ways. Number 1, of course, in the written form, to me, in papers, in shorter reflections. Number 2, in oral or verbal communication to me. So you're going to be recording awesomely, somewhat awkward videos just like this, and And I want you to make sure that they are done well. Aside from that text message that just popped up, I've been trying very hard not to use my main transitional phrase, which is especially when I'm recording these videos. And so, are you going to have to start and stop a video recording 5 or 6 times like I did before this one? Well, yeah, because we need to really focus on how we communicate the depth and the knowledge that we actually possess. And then finally, the process grade is really how well you are engaged over the course of the semester, over the course of the summer. Are you staying in constant communication? Are you doing a good job? Are you going above and beyond? In other words, are you working to understand, to critically reflect, or are you just trying to get an assignment done so that you can get a grade? All of you should be familiar with this for now. So remember, if you are meeting the expectations, you're right at that 3.0, you're right at that 90%. If you're going to exceed expectations, I want to see more depth. I want to see nuance. I want to see you challenging yourself. So when you are looking at the terrorism of Protestants and Catholics that took place in the 20th century in Northern Ireland, I want to see depth. I want to see you be able to draw some connections with that Christian terrorism that took place in the mid to late 20th century to some of the terrorism that takes place today between Shia and Sunni Muslims. Okay, we need to be able to see depth and see complexity. Maybe you can relate that also to what's going on right now with the Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar. The people of Myanmar are predominantly Buddhists, and yet they have essentially flushed out and wiped out a population of Muslims. And so we have to be able to look critically and to be able to see that whenever it comes to a religious issue, that these are far wider than perhaps we ever really imagined. So how are you going to get a grade this semester? Well, I already noticed one typo here. Identification should actually read 20% for a summer course, and I'll change that. So critical thinking, 35% of your grade is going to be how well you can evaluate and how well you can synthesize information in a coherent way. Identification, over the summer course, I'm bumping this up to 20% because, especially in a world religion course, I think it's super important to understand the terms, the basic realities. You're going to have to really challenge yourself here to go beyond your preconceptions of what you think the problem in Islam is. Well, it's pride. And what that really means and what submission means is the solution to that problem. We'll all get there. But identification is going to be 20%. Again, like I said earlier, you can't swim in the deep end unless you can actually swim and do a good job in the shallow end. Communication, again, is going to be 35% of the grade. How well are you able to communicate? You'll see all of these in rubrics that I'll have to you. And then again, in the written form, on discussion boards, and then finally in the verbal form to me in videos like I am giving to you. And then finally, the process grade is going to be actually 10%. Forgive me for that error. Yeah, how well are you engaged? How well are you moving beyond a grade? Okay. The vast majority of what we're doing this summer is to challenge you, is to get you to grow in your academic skills, in your engagement, in your understanding, and really to prepare you for when you go to college, for when you watch the news, for when you are working in the workplace, for when you are being a human in this world, that you are able to recognize the ways in which religion is one of the most basic human experiences across history and practiced by several billion people today, and how that is so interrelated and interconnected to history, into politics, into economics, into sociology and anthropology, and in philosophy, and of course in religion, and how all of those not only shape each other, but are deeply shaped by one another. Okay, my final thing. I'm really glad you guys are taking the summer course. I think it's going to be fun. I think doing world religion is going to be awesome. And I know that a lot of you guys are great students already. Don't just do this to get a grade. Okay, I really want you to focus on depth and understanding, challenging yourself, and I'm going to work as hard as I can to make the major content enjoyable and interesting, but also to allow you guys to engage world religions in a broad and a complex way. So thanks again. I'm super excited for the rest of the semester. And take a look at the assignment. So sorry, I said that I was going to keep this under 15 minutes, and it has been 14 minutes and 42 seconds. So I'm going to be quiet and get out of here. Thanks, guys. I'm looking forward to the summer.